All right, we have one last big optimization that we need to set up before we move on into our next module, and that is our analytics and getting indexed. So analytics is essentially the stats on our website, and so we want to install Google Analytics, which will show us which pages are being viewed the most, how many people are visiting our websites, when they're visiting them, and this is really, really powerful because it lets us see what is most popular, what the content is that people are actually engaging with on our site. It also helps with your SEO because Google is then looking at your site that much closer, which is always a good thing. And that goes hand in hand with getting indexed. Now, indexing is essentially an SEO term for making a map of your website. So Google, Bing, Yahoo, all of these search providers have to find all the websites on the internet. Imagine that job. There are billions and billions of websites to go through. And so they go through these websites and they make what's called an index, a map of all of the posts, the pages, the links, everything involved, so that then they can link to and show those results in their searches. So getting indexed is basically the process of Google finding your site, crawling it with their little code, and then they look at every page, they put together a little map, and bada bing, bada boom, you have been indexed. Now, this happens over time when Google sees your website and they'll make a map. However, you can speed up the process by submitting your index to Google, and you can also correct the process because sometimes these programs might go through and see all the links on your homepage, but let's say that you have a link on your website that is not listed on your homepage. Well, that's where your index will come in handy and let Google know, oh, I have another post over here. Great. Makes sense? So we are going to go through and I'm just going to show you how I would set up analytics inside of WordPress. And then we're going to show you how to set up Google Search Console. And we will start with analytics. Our first step is going to be creating a basic Google Analytics account. So we're just going to type Google Analytics into Google, go figure, and click on there. And from here, it'll probably sign me in because I've already have an account, but all I would do is go add an account. And you'll see something like this. So you'll set up your account. If you don't have a Gmail address, they will make you make one. And after that, you have that account. We will install it into and connect it to our website. So go to plugins and you're going to search for analytics. And from there, you can select one of these plugins. All they're going to do is connect to your Google Analytics account, which will then show you your data right on your back end of your website, which is really, really handy. So for instance, I would grab Google Analytics here. It's going to install. Perfect. We will activate it. And shabing shaboom, when we go to our dashboard, it should now be showing up. If I can locate it here. So we've got our analytics dashboard. They can only be seen after you authenticate with your Google account on the settings page. So we're going to go to the settings here. And then we're going to enter our little code that Google gives us. So what we have to do is sign in to our website. So if you have a Google account, you can do that. If not, you have to create one. And then you're going to just copy this little code here into your access code. Hit Save Changes. And this is basically going to insert this tiny little code into your website, which will then verify that you own this particular website. So Google says, okay, I'll give you the permission to see our stats for this. Great. So now that that is done, I can simply save. Go back to my dashboard here. And you can see I now have access to my analytics here. So I can go through, select page views, visits, organic search, bounce rate. I can even see which pages are the most popular and go through from there. So now if this particular tutorial doesn't apply to you, you're using Squarespace, Wix, or perhaps things have been updated or changed since I did this tutorial, don't worry about it. Simply go to YouTube or Google and search for how to install analytics in your particular platform, and you will find a way. Trust me, it's actually pretty easy. Now, the next thing that we need to worry about once we have analytics set up is getting indexed. So this is a pretty simple process. It's very similar, and we're going to go over to Google Search Console. So this is brand new. It used to be Google Webmaster Tools. Now it's called Google Search Console, and so I actually have to initiate mine. So I actually right now need to go over to my account. And it's automatically detecting that I already had this previously, but you could just enter your website right there. And now you see we've got this HTML file. So we are going to go down to where it says HTML tag, grab this, and this is if you are using Yoast or a similar service. All I have to do is go over to where it says SEO, and I've already pulled that up here to save some time. And right here I'm going to just paste where it says Google verification code. And Yoast is going to do all the hard work for me, insert that little tag into the code of my website. And shabing, I should be able to just press verify. And sweet deal. We now have our website in Google Search Console, which is sweet because it's going to show us more data, and data is always good. But what's important about this is that Google Search Tool allows us to submit our sitemaps. So all I'm going to do if I'm using Yoast, I've already looked up our little thing here. We just need to enter sitemap_index.xml. I'm going to go back here and do the sitemaps and just enter that right there. Hit submit. Schwabing. Google will periodically process it and look for changes to the site since the last time that they indexed it. And now that that's done, I just have to sit back and wait. Google has the map of my site. They will verify, and I'm one step closer to ranking. Now, one thing that you can do after this, Google is the most important of them all, but you can go ahead and move to the other webmaster tools and set those up as well. So it's the exact same process, especially if you're using Yoast. I just showed you how. But all you're going to do is do the same thing with Bing. Same thing with Yandex, whatever that is. It's a major webmaster and other search engines. So you can set that up and get indexed in all of those little sites. I'm going to let you go ahead and search for specific tutorials for whatever web platform you're using rather than taking up your time doing it here. But that is essentially what we're going to do here. We've got analytics, we've gotten indexed, and now we can move on to creating more great content and other SEO strategies. Let's do it.